Hello, everybody, and thank you for joining us for this special episode. We actually are coming to you on the heels of some big news that happened today. First, we got, listen, we had Voyager. Their stock was halted earlier today. A lot of chatter started going around, so we thought it best to bring the man who can answer the questions onto the show. And with us today, we have Steve Ehrlich, the CEO of Voyager, the beautiful crypto broker everybody's come to know and love, to kind of discuss and go through the news with us and exactly what that means, because we don't want disinformation out there at all. So, Steve, thank you for taking the time to join us.
No, thanks for having me again. Always a pleasure to come speak with the three of you guys. So I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm joined by Rob from Digital Asset News and Market Rebellion CJ, crypto analyst over there. So listen, tell us a little about this news, because what happened was this morning, the stock was halted. You're a publicly traded company in Canada. I started getting a lot of messages going in. Hey, did you see what's going on? Voyager they've halted trading of crypto on their platform. I said, what? And so we all started looking around. We got a little nervous, but then we realized what had happened. It was your equity stock. It was halted. Come to find out, it was halted at the bequest of you and the company. Can you go into why that happened?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's been a whirlwind couple of weeks for us as well on this, as a public company. But look, we announced last night that we were doing a overnight offering of our stock, and we announced that, and it was 25 million. And it wound up being so oversubscribed overnight, as we were working overnight, talking to investors, and our investment bank, Stifel, was really handling the process. This morning, we decided to halt the stock as it was really oversubscribed, and we had to figure out the allocations and finalize the exact pricing. And it's all the things you do as a public company. And if that information wasn't in the marketplace upon open, people would be guessing where the deal was going to get done at, because we announced that it was an overnight deal. Overnight means overnight, doesn't mean over a holiday weekend. It means overnight. And so we halted it, and we had, our counsel, Stifel, everybody was on the phone working through all the details. And in the end, we raised 40 million plus. It was so oversubscribed. We are so excited. It is, I think it restarted, give or take 12:45. The company is super excited. I mean, we're now hit a whole nother level, and excited about what this all brings to us.
Yeah, and first of all, that number is staggering, right? I mean, that the amount of money that you guys raised in order to propel the company forward, because I saw the use case was general business purposes, which basically means growth of infrastructure and things like that. One of the things I noticed that I was really happy to see was the fact that you guys brought in Stifel to handle this raise, whether they act as your book runner or underwriter or whatever it may be. To have such a mainstream powerhouse, and for people who don't know what Stifel is a large wealth management company headquartered out of the mid-states in the U.S. here, but to have such a traditional large powerhouse be involved with your raise, that really shows that we're here as crypto folks.
Well, it goes deeper than that, right? And Stifel is very big in, they bought GMP in Canada, so we had our Canadian counterparts working with us. They bought Keefe, Bruyette and Woods, old KBW here in the States. So they're a large investment bank and high net worth and wealth management business. But it goes deeper than that. Having them on the label is great. It really gives us a lot of credibility in working with those guys. But then the investors that they brought behind this in the raise are really, traditional institutional investors that have invested in this in other crypto projects, other blockchain projects, but also other online projects like online brokers. So they know this space. They've been in the space a lot, these investors. And we are so excited to have such a great group of investors behind us. Every company like us wishes to have investors like that. We're psyched to have them. And it's just adding that with our any existing investors. We had a few that came in as well. Just adding them together, we are so set up to execute our game plan for the future right now. And they believe in it. And you're right, general corporate purposes, marketing, tech dev, expanding our business, helps us get to international, working on potentially, enhancing the wallet that we have, the old Ethos wallet. It just gives us so much more capital to actually go execute more of what we've always dreamed of, and hopefully do it in a faster manner.
That sounds great. Steve, another thing I want to ask you about the new Voyager loyalty program, because you guys have so much in the works, so much going on. I mean, in November, you guys were at 100 million assets under management. Now you're at 500 million, a tremendous amount of growth. You also announced that you're going to make some changes and upgrades to the Voyager loyalty program, and the market responded, pretty decent to that.
Yeah.
This is Google search trends for the term Voyager token, and you can see it's absolutely off the chart. If I look at TradingView real quick, we can see we're up about 800 to 1,000% in the last 2 weeks. So the market has responded quite drastically to that, to say the least. But is there anything you can share or give us a sneak peek into what the new Voyager loyalty program will entail?
Yeah. So first, again, I think it's been an exciting ride on that. Seeing all those Google searches is great. Seeing not our desktop as your chart there bothers me, so we'll have to make sure we use our desktop version for you next time. But look, I think we did, and I said to you guys before we came on, we heard the community loud and clear. We went back to the drawing board. We spent a lot of time together, and my team gets together quite frequently to discuss this. We're done. We know what the economics of all this are at this point in time. And as I think I even tweeted about a few days ago, it's token based. It's not asset based. It's really token based to get all the benefits, which I think is probably the number one thing that the token holders wanted. And there's some pretty cool stuff that's going to come from that. But now we have to build the blogs, the information, our service information. So if people email questions, we can answer them, and we have them all set. The creatives that got to go out on social, all this stuff takes a little time. And so just saying it without having all that to back up won't give the full impact of the program. But the economics are done. We've agreed them as a team. We've gone through them, we've vetted them, and we're excited about it. We hope, within the next 2 weeks, we can get all that creative work into the marketplace and announce it. And then we have to just decide, which one of you 3 shows we're going to have to, get it out on. So I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get anyone upset.
I think
I don't want to get anyone upset.
We should just all hang out by the pool at Rob's. First of all, we'll be more comfortable. One of the most important things you just said, because now this is a game changer for Voyager as a whole, is not only have you now capitalized, but the token economics, which there were some complaints prior to, and why there, which was why it couldn't have great price action. But now you guys have solved that. So moving forward, it actually has a meaningful job within the ecosystem at Voyager.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I mean, that was core when we went back to look at it. And like I said, we listened to the community. Again, I think the difference between being a retail business that succeeds and fails is listening to your customers. So we listened, and it will be integral to getting extra rewards within our program. And we've mentioned there will be things like the debit card. We're working, obviously, I get a lot of questions on, are you going to come out with a credit card after one of the other exchanges talked about a credit card yesterday? Yeah, we're working on that. And having extra capital now helps us actually expedite some of these things. But we're working towards debit card, credit card, like we always mention, some cashback program, boost in interest. All those things are on our table and have been solidified already. And we'll come out with it in a few weeks. I think people will be really excited by it. The goal for us is to make sure people have aspirational to keep moving up levels in the program, because we think that's important. It's very similar to, we tend to think about Amex cards and so forth. People, you always want the black card. You got to graduate up there, right? You get there from the regular card to, the different levels, platinum and then black. And so we have different levels. We're all set up. We're psyched by it. I don't want to give too much away because like I promised my team, I need a little bit of time to get those creatives and get it out right. But we're excited about all the things we're going to bring.
Yeah, I think. Sorry, Rob. I think the top card should be purple. Just saying. I don't know why. It just came to my mind.
just like Uniswap, your top pick. So Steve, real quick, we just did first of all, if I glitch out, tell me. We just did a video where we used Pat Ackerman's data, where we took a look at Metcalfe's law and just saw how Voyager has increased. They've increased their base of users 4x, and coincidentally, we went up 400% for the token. It looks like the utility function is there, and that is the whole thing. But here's the question. How are you guys planning to build your base of users, and how do you plan to keep everybody happy? Because right now there's got to be a lot of growing pains going on. And I go through that on my channel. They'll kind of be like, hey, Voyager is not doing this or that. And I'll say, well, go reach out to Steve over there on Twitter. And then you answer things on Twitter, but I mean, you're one guy. So what's the plan?
Well, look, we're deepening our entire service team quite a bit. But we're maybe, we're not even really behind on our tickets, under our SLA, we're not behind. We're responding to tickets. We're hiring more and more bodies on that front to help there. I still answer. I don't think there's a tweet or a DM I haven't answered, actually. As long as there's going to be hockey on at night now, which I'm a huge hockey fan, I've got a lot of hockey to watch, a lot of tweets to respond to. So always happy to do that. But I think, again, it comes back to the exponential growth we've been seeing. And we announced that in a press release, January 10th or 11th, the 11th, I think it was. Monday, where we said that we're up 25% on accounts, from the beginning of the year to now, from 40,000 to 50, hasn't stopped. We've also, said that we're doing 3 to 4 times our trading volume from December. Yeah. And so we're seeing this community, and the number of customers coming on the platform each day is just growing drastically. And we're not going to stop people from bringing money on the platform or run out of coins or any of that stuff that I'm reading all these things about in the marketplace. One of the reasons we won't run out of coins to buy is because we're connected to 10 different exchanges, marketplaces, and so forth. That's why we put the model
Steve,
in.
You're running out of coins, Steve? Is this breaking?
No, we will never run out of coins. But you have seen that by a few parties out there. I'm sure you know which ones running out of coins. Like, they may not be able to allow people to buy Bitcoin this weekend. Shocking to me. But we're all about pleasing the customer, and I can't be duplicated yet. But we could still answer all the questions, and I will get to the DMs when they come in.
Great. And then before we take off for the next question, I've got to ask this, because if I don't ask this, people will kill me. So when I did that video, the big question, there was 2 questions. First of all, when is Voyager going to be allowed in Canada? When is Voyager going to be allowed in Europe? And the third question was, what happened to New York? Why can't we get this in New York? I know it's about the bit license. I know you guys are working on it, but can you just tell us a little bit about when this is going to happen? Because if I didn't ask it, people would slaughter me.
Yeah. So, all right. So let's go New York first. Working with them. We're doing everything you're supposed to do to get a bit license. So we're working on that. We're hopeful. We're hopeful, fingers crossed. Canada, we're working with the Ontario Securities Commission to get our license to appropriately enter the Canadian market and be regulated in that market. France, we have the license, the PSAN license, and it's overseen by what they call the AMF. That's some French name that I can't pronounce because I barely have English now. And so we are hopeful to get into Europe, sometime second half of 2021. I had a call on that today with my team. But Canada, as soon as we can get the license, we're almost ready to go. Europe is about, we're hopeful, but it's all about the license, right? I mean, I think it's all about the license. We're not going to go in there rogue. That's just not the Voyager way. As a public company regulated by the OSC and IROC up there, don't want to be rogue. So we're doing it the right way. And so we're hopeful by the end of Q1.
Thank you.
Real quickly, and I know there's a second half of that question there, I think, Rob, but one, folks out there, NYDFS, great group, one of the first to regulate crypto, terrific at what they do, but like everything else, the process takes time. So it's not, I don't think it's as much as, Steve saying, I don't want to do this. It's a process to go through,
It's a banking it's really, truly, it's a banking process, and banking processes take 2 years plus to get banking licenses. It's not something you just whip out. It's very difficult to get because you got to go through a lot of time and effort and paperwork and questions and audits and so forth. So it's a process. There's nothing wrong with it. It makes a lot of sense, and it's the process that has to be in New York, and we abide by it. But it's a lot different than being a broker dealer in that world. You can get a broker dealer up and running in 6 months for the most part. Not banking process.
Second thing to that is we get a lot of inbounds from Europe. People in Europe they want Voyager, and
I want Voyager in Europe. Yeah, I want Voyager in Europe. I do. It's just you just have to be. I think the one thing people should always recognize about what we do is just really our execution is fastidious, right? We're always solid. We put a plan together. We execute to our plan. And we're always trying to beat timelines. It's not the easiest thing to do, but we have an execution game plan, and we try not to. Said this, I probably did about 30 different roadshow calls this weekend with potential investors this week. And I think what we always are talking about is when you bring something to market, you don't want to be average. Who desires to ever be average? I mean, average is not a good place to be. So we desire, when we're going to bring something to market, to be great, to be good to great. And that's why, our execution is so important, because we want to bring great product to market, not good or average. I mean, I tell my own kids, just never be average. Try to be the best you can be.
Very cool. Well, Steve, I want to thank you for hopping on. I know you
mind
are
if I ask one last question, and I apologize if this is a little, beyond the scope of the current roadmap, but something you said in the last interview with Rob and Alex, when you were talking about the Voyager loyalty program, really my ears picked up, and you said there might be some implementation of bonuses in stock trading, and I was, that got the wheels turning. I was just, do you see yourselves becoming something like a Webull or even better?
Oh, I mean, Webull does a really nice job. Their crypto is a little bit different than ours, so I would say our crypto blows theirs away. But being a little aggressive there, our crypto definitely blows theirs away. But on the stock trading, we believe everything's fungible, right? So we think that if someone owns Bitcoin or USDC coin or some of the other coins, that if you want to go buy Apple stock, you shouldn't have to make it a two-step process. Bitcoin to dollars to Apple. You want to do that, we'll quote it that way, and we'll give you that opportunity. That's on our game plan. That's on our roadmap. It has been for a while. And we're trying to figure that out. And we have most of the intellectual property, how we want to do it, figured out. We're just trying to, we have to implement the broker dealer, find clearing firms, work on all that stuff. And these are the things that you have to just execute tightly on to make sure you get it right.
But before I close out, I need to just mention a comment from the live chat that's going on, which said, Steve is starting to sound like Steve Cohen buying the Mets.
I'm not a Met fan. I'm a diehard Yankee fan, so it will never happen.
I think it was about the enthusiasm, Steve. Listen,
I am excited. I mean, it's unbelievable where we've come in the last 13 months. I think it would be mistaken of me not to say December 31st, 2019, $5 million of customer assets. We're sitting here January 15th. We announced today 500 million of customer assets.
Incredible.
I think that's 100 times, if my math's right. I think that's easy math. I can do that pretty fast.
Listen, here's my recap. $40 million capital raise. Okay, you guys, your stock price and revenue has grown exponentially as per your last report. You guys are you're killing it. And now you mentioned you have a tokenomics plan in place for VGX. Steve, hats off to you, my friend. It's always all about the team. It's always about the people who are buying the product and service.
Always about the customer. And when you say hats off, I know what that means. That means I have to get you that Voyager. So that's coming. Trust me, it's coming.
Thank you for joining us today. Really appreciate it, buddy. And good luck and congrats.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me again. Appreciate it.